CC, CEO, wanna change your life? Come see me, yo. I'ma teach you how to build up wealth for your family, not just for yourself. I'm a bestseller, a house flipper, a businesswoman, a go-getter, a big investor, a gold builder that could teach you to get richer like millions, baby. You really about to fill your savings. You about to have multiple streams to pass your children, baby. Let me teach you to get your credit on track in the long run. You'll make it all back at Catalyst and watch it all psychology black-owned firm, but we ain't all black.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Constance Carter. Now, let me ask you a question. I know I came through really, really hyped because I was over there. The CEO for the change. I do that every time we do the intro. And boom, I'm already done. So let me ask you a question for everybody who be on here every day with me. How many of y'all know y'all know my song by heart? Yeah, it's CEO. Want to change the light? Come see. Who knows it? Who be jamming with it when it comes on? Yeah, it's CEO. Want to change the light? Come see me. Yeah. Who do that? Anybody like it? This song is, we did this song back in 2021. That is actually a full song by the ladies of Catalyst Real Estate Professional. So that is actually, let me see if I can find it, but that's actually the ladies from my office. We recorded that song at two of my offices. So I had two offices, one in Stockton, California, which was a beautiful office. It was on the water. It was great. And then we had one office that was in Sacramento, which was also a co-working space. It had an event venue. It was really dope as well. So actually, let me do this. I'm just going to show you a clip. I'm going to show you a clip of how it went. Okay. Anybody want to see it? Even if you're not interested, I'm going to show it to you anyway. And we're going to get to it, but hold on. Let me see. 222, we got you. It's called 222, we got you. And the way this came up is we used to, in my office, we would do these lives. We do these live summits. And I came up with this concept about what you need to get qualified for a home loan. And I said, you need your 2 years tax returns, 2 years bank statements, and 2 months pay stub, last two pay stubs. So those are the things that you need to start off with qualifying for a home loan. And so that's what we used to say. We kind of coined that term 222. And one of my agents, Taisha, she used to do all kind of like little skits and stuff. It was really cool. And she was like, she did one like a skit, like her real estate with like it was a Friday theme and all this. So she was like, I want to do a rap. She was like, she asked me if I want to do it with her. So I said, yeah, y'all, my ass hijacked her whole rap. Like I became the director, the producer. I wrote some of the verses. I was like, and I felt so bad. I had to apologize to her afterwards because this is not even my idea, but I took her idea and I straight hijacked it because that's just what I do. But I invited some of the other women in the group within my organization to participate. So here's the actual video. Let me show y'all real quick.
Yeah. Let's go.
All right, so that's Marcella.
Ladies.
That's at our Stockton office.
If you got your 2, and your 2, then we got you. Yeah, we got you. Yeah, we got you. If you got your 2, and your 2, then we got you. We got you. Yeah, we got you. 2 years taxes, 2 months bank, 2 pay stubs. You ain't even gotta worry about HUD. Cause if you got your 2, and your 2, then we got you. Yeah, we got you.
I heard that you've been shopping. I heard that rent ain't dropping.
Oh my God,
Taisha here with Catalyst. Let me give you options. Now that rates are dropping at an all-time low, you can quickly get approved with the 640. You know, you can just walk in, down payment, steady income, I'll arrange it. I'll find you a safe haven. Imagine all that you'd be saving. I'm patient, and I even work with sellers off the market so fast. It'll make that picture.
You got your 2,
your two, and your two.
Marcella,
Then we
my
got
manager
you.
right now.
Yeah, we got you. If you got your two, and your two. Yeah, then we got you. Yeah, we got you. 2 years taxes, 2 months bank, 2 pay stubs. You ain't even gotta worry about HUD. Cause if you got your two, and your two, then we got you.
All right,
Yeah, we got
okay,
you.
Angela.
From the valley to the bay to LA, I can list your house and have it sold in just a day. First time buyers, you can come my way, or even if you're investing or you want to upgrade. Okay, my name is Angela. I've been here 30 years, helping people buy their dreams and throw away their fears. Single moms, divorcees, vets, or you have an empty nest, you'll invest like a boss with acres like Rick Ross. If you got your two, and your two, yeah, then we got you. Yeah, we got you. Yeah, we got you. If you got your two, and your two, yeah, then we got you. We got you. Yeah, we got you. 2 years taxes, 2 months bank, 2 pay stubs. You ain't even gotta worry about HUD. Cause if you got your two, and your two, yeah, then we got you. Yeah, we got you.
All right. So then my verse was coming on. And there's my verse. Yeah, it's see. So that's how that song was birthed. It was actually a song that we had inside of our group, which was it was totally cool. It was fun. We recorded at both of our offices. It was pretty cool. So anyway, I see y'all like our song, but that's what it was. That was the origins of the song. In any case, you already know every time I come live, I love to know who you are and where you are watching from. So I want you to talk back to me and talk black to me, y'all. Listen, where y'all watching from? I see who we got on here. We got Sunshine. Sunshine says she may not be able to join us, but we always want to give her a shout out because she's always watching and she's always putting her Black-owned business, Victory Village Wellness Center. They travel at no additional cost, y'all. So if you need laser, lipo, M-sculpt, red light therapy, sauna, detox, cosmetic, post-op care, lymphatic drainage treatment, see your girl. And she travels. So she goes from state to state. And then she said yesterday that she just signed a franchise agreement. So she's franchising her business. So people are moving and shaking. And I'm so proud of her. And I'm proud of the rest of you. I see Sophia from Stockton. Where is everybody else watching from? Oh, I see Booker. What's up, Booker? Always faithful. I appreciate you always tuning in and watching me, Booker. That's what's up. Thank you so much. All right, Black Lexicon. Black Lexicon normally listens to our Fly Nubian Money show, so he's listening to us this morning. Thank you. What's up, Alicia from San Antonio, Texas? I appreciate you. I appreciate that's our song. But again, that was from 2021, so it's like 4 years. You said, James Higgins, girl, you continue to keep my attention. Girl, I'm at work. Black knowledge is an essence. I love it. I appreciate you guys. Venus, Texas, Bowlegs Catering. Okay, all right, we got another business. We got another Black-owned business. Venus, Texas, Bowlegs Catering. So that's the other thing is if you have a Black-owned business, I want to be able to shout you out. The only way that we're going to make it through this crazy economy with these crazy people in office is if we support each other. And I'm so happy. I am happy about what's going on. I'm not, but I am. We ain't never in America. Black people have never been. We have never been comfortable. This system has never been designed to work for us. So, typically when America has the cold, Black people get the flu. But I think this is a new day where we are going to be able to mobilize and get together so that we can really make an impact. Let all them people up there fight and do what they do and dismantle everything that they're dismantling. That is quite okay. Because now our conversation has changed drastically. We went from, I don't do business with Black people, to not only am I doing business with Black people, but I'm starting my own Black-owned business. I'm minding my own Black-owned business, and I'm minding my Black-owned business. We're doing that too, right? So we minding our Black-owned business this next 4 years. We already said it. And we're also going to mine, M-I-N-E, our Black-owned business. What does that mean? We're going to work. We're going to build. We're going to create. We're going to grow our Black-owned businesses. That right there is the most important thing that you can do, because you can invest in stock. You can invest in real estate. Those are really wonderful investments. You get a great return on your investment. There's nowhere where you're going to get 100% return on investment than like you investing in yourself. A good friend of mine, I talked to him yesterday, right? I was talking to my friend yesterday, and I was telling the ladies in Net 7, we had Net 7 Collective last night, and I was telling her. So a good friend of mine, he actually calls me his mentor, but shit, he's far surpassed me. He's my mentor at this point, but he started Bump Box, the big boom boxes. I don't know if you've seen them. All the rappers have endorsed them. They're all, you know. So anyway, I'm selling one of his properties, and we were talking yesterday, and I said he said. He was asking me about, you know, some tax stuff, tax strategies with his property. But he said, I just got a $40 million deal with Dick's that has nothing to do with Bump Box. Like, this is a totally different business. I'm like, the hell? So he's asking me different vehicles to put his money in to get a return on investment. I was like, you can put it in here, you can get 10%, you can put in there, you can get, you know, this percentage. And he said, no, I want 100% ROI. I said, that's what the hell I'm talking about. When you invest in yourself, you get 100% return on your investment, because everything you put into it, you're going to get out of it if you are consistent. Okay. One of my favorite scriptures that I learned when I was an adult is, don't be weary in well-doing, for in due season you will reap your harvest. But then there's another part to that. If you faint not. So everything that you sow into your business, you are going to reap back. Everything you sow into yourself, you're going to reap back. You just got to be consistent. And what's that next part? If you faint not. So investing in your business is one of the biggest things that you can do. It's one of the best things that you can do. You know, you just going out there and making sure that you're creating something, not just for you, for your family, for your community. It's bigger than you. And when you look at it, and that's one thing that people have a hard time doing, is when they're looking at, okay, well, why is somebody going to use my services over somebody else's? Well, I'm not good enough. What if I fail? What if I'm successful? Then the demand on me is going to be more. It's going to be greater. Well, what if you succeed and not only you help yourself and not only you help your family, you create a legacy for your children, your children's children, but you're also able to help your community. It's bigger than you. You investing in you is bigger than you. It's effectuating change in so many different areas that you don't even see. When I started investing in real estate, it was never about me. It was about, how can I help people? But look how I'm able to help people like you who are watching me, who watch me every single day. And I don't even know 99% of you guys, but there's something that I say that helps you in some way. And that's the whole purpose. My purpose is helping people. My passion is helping people. So I'm able to effectuate change in other people's lives just by virtue of me being in alignment with my purpose. What are you doing is the question, to be in alignment with your purpose. Are you in alignment with your purpose? You creating a business, you being able to monetize your business to be able to help somebody else, because people a lot of times will pay you handsomely for what it is that you do. So what is it that you do that can help effectuate change and help somebody else? That's the reason why I'm doing a training tomorrow. It's called the Bring Your Idea to Life training. I'm doing this as a free training. I'm doing it for you tomorrow at the same time. So I'm not going to be live here. It's not going to be for everybody. It's only for the people who sign up for it. But if you go to thinkbuildmonetize.com, and you go to the Bring Your Idea to Life training, go thinkbuildmonetize.com. And if you sign up for this training, I'm going to show you tomorrow how to identify your unique genius, how to build your framework to create your business brand, and how to monetize it. We're going to talk about that tomorrow, and that is absolutely free. Y'all, listen, I charge $500 an hour to do one-on-one coaching with me. I have other trainings that I charge for. If you are in my cohort in the Net 7 Collective, you have to invest in yourself to become a part of that. This is a training that you're getting from me live for free. I just actually completed the Bring Your Idea to Life, which is the expanded version of this. It's a 2-day training. I did that over the weekend, and we had some amazing outcomes. Here's Janelle. Hopefully, Janelle, if you're watching, shout out. So
basically what I really got out of this is I came with just an idea. I really didn't know how or what to do, but listening to all the tools, listening to other people, getting that personal recommendations, it really just helped me a lot. I walked away with not only knowing what I came in with, but what I was able to accomplish while I'm here in my next steps.
So that is going to be Friday. If you are interested, if you want to learn how to invest in yourself, because again, you are your biggest commodity. I'm doing this for you as a free training for you. For those who sign up, we're gonna get that information out there, and then it'll be a part of the Grow Your Money Club. So then you'll have to pay for it in order to see it. This presentation that we're doing tomorrow. So if you're interested, go to thinkbuildmonetize.com. What's up, Montez? Go to thinkbuildmonetize.com. so that you can sign up for this training so that you can be a part of it. And we can talk and we can rap and we can figure out what your business is. Last night we had the Net 7 Collective, which I have every Wednesday night. What you guys been doing this weekend? And of course, listen, if this is your first time listening, I'm not like your average quote unquote podcaster or live person. Like, I like to interact. This is a dialogue and not a monologue. So I like to rap with you and see what's going on with you also. But last night we had the Net 7 Collective and it was so great. We just pulling these businesses out of these ladies is so inspiring, and to see where they are, and to see like when one of the sisters has an issue or when they're weak, you have the other ladies, the collective, that's strong. One of the ladies wasn't 100%, and she was actually, so I break them out in breakouts. So we do like this personal development piece in the beginning, and I put them in breakout rooms and they talk to somebody individually. And so Miss Black Hollywood, she was actually in a breakout room with another lady, and she was going through some things that nobody knew, and she said, can we just take a moment to pray? And that's what we did. We stopped what we were doing and we took a moment to pray for her. And what I didn't know was that she was having surgery today. Like, as we speak, she's having surgery right now. But just having that support of sisters. And one of the things that the young lady said, that is having surgery today, she said, I tend to isolate when I'm going through things. And I'm so glad that I didn't isolate. I'm so glad that I pushed myself to come on here, and she got the support. And that's what the Net 7 Collective is about. Is you have a group of women that are not just building wealth. They're not just, changing things for their family, but they're doing things for each other. It's iron sharpens iron in live, direct, in a real way. We are actually practicing collective economics in real time. And so that's the thing that I love about the Net 7 Collective. So if it's something, we're still taking potential people to be a part of the Net 7 Collective. I'm inspired by being the other women, and they inspire me. We inspire each other, and it's just a great community. I built something that I really, really needed. And so that's what the Net 7 Collective is. So if you're interested, go to net7bbs.com and fill out the form, and I will get a copy of the form. And then we can talk about it and see if you're a good fit. Everybody's not a good fit. Some people are, some people aren't, and that's okay. Sometimes it's a mutual thing that, you're not a good fit. I don't choose everybody. That's just the reality of it. And it's some type of elitist thing. It's just really what we need in the community for the synergy. And if your synergy doesn't match with what we have going on, because it's only positivity, it's only like, it's a safe space. And I have to make sure I protect the energy inside the room. April, who was on here yesterday, she said to me, I'm wrong. I was wrong in something. I was talking to her this morning. She's like, I was wrong about something. And I said, what? She was like, I hate to admit that I was wrong. Cause me and her, we get into these things and, I'm right. You right. I'm right. Whatever. You're right. I'm right. Anyway. So she said, when I told you to just let, just let people in and just take their money and let people in, that's not the right thing to do. I said 100% right. All money is not good money. No, sir. All money is not good money. I will not have anybody coming in and messing up the sanctity of the space just because I'm getting their money. This is not that type of situation. I've always been the type to forfeit money before I will let somebody come in and ruin the synergy of my company, Catalyst Real Estate Professionals, of my community, Net 7 Collective, or anything that I'm associated with. Peace is way more important than any amount of money anybody can give me. It's not about the money for me. So I do want to get into the whole idea of the Department of Education being dismantled as of today, because that's what you're here to talk about, right? That's what you want to listen to. And this is important because I have, thoughts about this. Now we're seeing like in the media, and it depends on which media you listen to. If you listen to more liberal news, they're saying that, this is a mistake and can't happen. If you listen to conservative news, they're saying it absolutely needs to happen. I think there needs to be a balance in how we're talking about dismantling the Department of Education. That's going to be extremely important. What's happening with it? So I want to look at some pros and cons and give you some updates and how it's really affecting us. Okay. Black students are already struggling in underfunded schools. I have some statistics about Black kids. I think I put it in my notes. Where was it? Oh, actually, no. I actually have a graphic. Let me see. So what's happening to the kids in our schools? Let's talk about it. Disparities in discipline. This is extremely important. Black students are nearly twice as likely to be suspended without educational services as white students. Specifically, they are 3.8 times more likely to receive one or more out-of-school suspensions compared to their white counterparts. This is happening to our kids. I was in where I'm from in California, in Lodi School District. They did a study, and see by them dismantling the Department of Education, we're not going to see these types of reporting, because there's not going to be any reporting reporting requirements that they're going to have in these schools. But let me see. There was some other statistics that I had in here too. Let's see. Where is it? Here we go. I should have put this on graphics. All right. So higher suspension rate. So in Lodi School District, they did a study that Black students were 15 times. This said 3.8 times percent more likely that their Black students are 15.8 in this school district when they did a study to get suspended for issues that are similar to their white counterparts. Same as in the criminal justice system, 15% more likely. So there's absolutely some racial disparities. Schools with majority Black student populations often receive less funding. Now, in my TED Talk, I talked about that. White schools receive $2.3 billion, $3.2 billion more in funding than Black schools. Now, they're not performing better because they're smarter. It's because they have access to more resources. We know that, right? But then when you get into the college level, the collegiate level, they're not letting Black kids in these schools because they're not performing. And we know that these tests are racially biased because they don't have the resources to be able to teach the kids adequately and efficiently. So we have these higher suspension rates. We have lack of Black teachers. I think I have a thing in here. While Black students constitute 15% of public school enrollment, only 6.1% of teachers are Black, with Black males comprising less than 1.3% of the workforce. Now, I am so fortunate, y'all. When I was in California, my kids had never had a Black teacher ever in life, ever had any Black teacher. And a Black male teacher, fuck out of here, ever. My kids now have nothing but Black teachers, Black men, Black women. I love it. They're able to see men that are teaching them in a positive light. Principals Black. They getting on them. They call my kids' school the Mecca of excellence. They make sure that they get on their little Black behinds to make sure that they have a vested interest. When you have kids that look like you have more of a vested interest in what these children are doing. I love that. I'm so happy. My kids have financial literacy, which they've never had. In California, they have that, which that's my youngest son's favorite subject is financial literacy. They have things, my son's in computer science, and all these creative things that are absolutely fantastic that my children get to take advantage of. And they're here and they have all Black teachers. Love that. It was a culture shock for my kids. I ain't gonna lie. Because you come from a situation where there are less than 1% or maybe 1 to 3% Black kids. And now that's all you see. And it's so funny because when I drop them off, I can't, when my kids go into the sea of children, I can't tell them apart from everybody else because they all wear uniforms. They all got, the dreads and all that stuff. The other thing is there's lower expectation and bias from the teachers. Y'all, if you've ever heard me talk about this is when I used to have to ride my kids' teachers. And this is why parental advocacy is so important. When my children were in elementary school, look at the conspiracy. Read the book, The Conspiracy to Destroy Black Boys by Joanna Kunjunfu. It's a very real thing. It starts in elementary school, where they are intentionally biasing, penalizing, suspending, expelling our children at astronomical rates for the same thing that white kids do. They do this to our kids. So they have lower expectations and biases. So y'all, when my son was in, and this, they only did this to my oldest son because he was the oldest. They didn't know who his mama was. They didn't know that his parents were engaged and involved. And so once they figured that part out, they left my kids alone. So by the time my other kids came up, because they're all 2 years apart, my boys are all 2 years apart, they had no problems because I had already set the foundation and set the standard for what I expected out of these teachers when it came to my kids. So when my son was in the 3rd grade, I think the teacher tells me while we're in a parent-teacher conference, I think you should get him checked for ADHD. Okay. In my mind, he was totally fine. Now, he may have been on that spectrum, but in my mind, which he wasn't, he's never been tested. He's never had any problems. My son he would get up, walk around class because she allowed him to. But I looked at it this way. If he was 8, my other one was 6, my other one was 4. My 4-year-old was a terror at the house. He would run around crying, making noise, blah, blah, whatever. My son was still able to sit there and do his homework and concentrate with all this stuff going around. This is what my thought was at the time. This boy is over here able to function and operate in all this chaos. There ain't nothing wrong with this kid. You just don't know how to control your classroom. So I said, okay, I'll consider it. She said, maybe you should get him checked. I said, I'll consider it. And then a few weeks later, my son was talking, because when I tell you that one right there, I was just talking about him to somebody. He is the talker. He talks. He used to talk. And my middle son would be like, Warren, shut up, please. I can't think, because he used to just talk so much. And so he was talking. And the teacher got up and said, when is your mom going to take you to the doctor, in front of everybody? Yo, when I got through with that lady, she had nothing. She never did anything like that again, of course. And I mean, she was definitely afraid of me, and she changed her whole outlook, attitude, and everything else. Because I got everybody in it. I got everybody together in that office. I got them all gathered in that office. The principal, the vice principal, and that teacher. Never had to worry about that again. Because when they know that you are engaged and you're a present parent, they are less likely going to do certain things and treat your children a certain way. They're also a disproportionate placement in special education for our Black boys. I don't know if you knew that. Jawanza Kunjunifu talks about that in his book. We have lack of advancement in these schools that are underfunded. There's lack of advancement to AP classes and STEM classes. And even if they are AP, they're not putting them in these classes. I think I told you I had scored the highest in my school in the standardized test, but they never put me in the AP classes. And this was in junior high. This was in junior high or elementary school. Then you have the cultural erasure of Black history. Well, they wasn't teaching them right Black history anyway. So F all what they was talking about. They wasn't giving us real Black history. So, throw that out the window. And then there's mental health and trauma support deficiencies that they don't have. So they criminalize our kids. They're not teaching them the history. They're biased. They're putting our kids in special education. This is what's going on. And I want to talk. We're going to talk about the pros and cons of the dismantling of the Department of Education. I want to know what you think about this, because what's happening is, if we listen to the media, we complain about the schools, we complain about the systems. And that's actually what we were talking about in Net 7 last night, because we have several educators and they're like, oh my God, Trump is dismantling the Department of Education. What are we going to do? And, of course, for these Title I schools, which are the low income schools, are going to be deeply affected. All of these things are going to happen. So what is your opinion on what's happening with the dismantling of the Department of Education? Do you think this is a good thing? Do you think it's a bad thing? Is it long overdue? Do they need to kind of watch what they're doing a little bit before they do it? Like, should they be taking, more careful steps? How do we overhaul the Department of Education if it needs to be overhauled? How are we really going to be able to do that? Booker says, I volunteer at elementary school, and this is true. The teachers are burnt out and giving up. It is a mentorship program. Just want to encourage people to get involved and be the change. I love that. I love that. What do you guys think? Should they be dismantling the Department of Education? Do you think that's a good thing, or you think that's a bad thing? I want to know what your comments are. Put it in the comments. What do you guys think? So y'all ain't saying nothing. There's a lot of y'all watching, but ain't nobody. Y'all peeking, but y'all ain't speaking. What's really going on? What's really going on? So let's look at that objectively. When we say that we need an overhaul, I want to ask you guys a question. I don't know if you guys remember. Remember this lady, Kelly Williams Bowler? Do you remember this story? This was back, I think, in 2011. This lady was jailed for sending her daughter to a better school. Schools are so bad in our neighborhoods that, people will lie to put their kids in better school. She was in Ohio, and she was convicted of lying about her residency to get her daughter into a better school. Her daughter, her father actually lived in this district. And so she was using her father's address to move into this district, and the school got suspicious. They sent a private eye. They spent their resources to send a private eye to follow her to figure out that, hey, she doesn't really live here. And oh, by the way, she served time. Her father ended up investigating her father for something totally different. He goes to jail for 11 months for something totally different, and he ends up dying in prison. All because she wanted to put her kids in a better school district. So her father dies, her family's destroyed, all of these things because she wanted to put her kids in a better school district. These are the things that Black people have to suffer with. When you had Brown versus the Board of Education, it was supposed to eliminate segregation in schools. What happened? Did it really eliminate it? I don't know if you know, but schools are funded by local taxes. So if schools are funded by local taxes and you have urban decay, and urban decay do you guys know about urban decay? Urban decay has been exacerbated by white flight. So when these white people left these urban neighborhoods, they took the economies with them. The federal government or the local government stopped funding these communities. They would take out all the local stores, all the economies. Now we don't have any money. Now we have blight. Now we have decay. And the little bit of local taxes that we have are going into the schools. And that's the reason why you need federal funding to go to these Title I schools, which are the poorest schools. So we need that from federal. But what Trump is proposing is that the state takes care of this. The state takes care of the funding for the schools. Okay, cool. If the Department of Education is not going to be helping funding the schools, because they don't have anything to do with the local curriculum. That's why you have states like Florida and Texas that are taking out the critical race theory. They're not trying to teach Black history. But you have other states, because the states, what's mandated by the state, what the curriculum is mandated by the states, but the federal government gives funding to the states to be able to address some of the discrepancies and the disparities. That's what we need. The good thing is you may have a situation where you have more school choice, right? So if you have more school choice, the state takes over. We can see more charter schools, even more Afrocentric schools, more Black-led education that actually reflects our history and our culture. That's a positivity that can come out of the dismantling of the Department of Education. We can see less federal red tape, because if some believe that education should be local, so communities can have more say over the curriculum than what the government says, the state says, right? There might be more entrepreneurial opportunities. Black educators and investors could build more private schools, online academies, and tutoring programs to fill in the gap. Let's look at what the opportunities are, okay? But if we look at the cons of the Department of Education being dismantled, again, the funding, you're taking away the funding from the most vulnerable communities, the most needed communities. You may have more inequality. Red states may cut funding, leaving Black schools worse off. That very well may happen. States like Mississippi, it's a red state. They vote against their own best interest, but then they may cut off the funding in those areas where we see a majority of Black kids. Might be more segregation. I don't know. It might make it harder for Black students to access better education. The biggest thing I think, though, is the HBCUs being at risk, right? Because HBCUs are actually, you get help from Pell Grants and funding from the government. That could all go away. HBCUs, between 1976 and 2022, Black student enrollment at HBCUs increased by 15%. However, during the same period, enrollment of students from other racial or ethnic backgrounds at HBCUs grew by 117%. Consequently, the proportion of Black students at HBCUs decreased from 85% to 76%. Crazy. But here's the thing. Black students who begin their higher education at HBCUs are 40% more likely to earn bachelor degrees than those who don't attend HBCUs. Now, we talked about a few weeks ago about how all of these judges, I still got it. 40% of members of Congress come from HBCUs. 40% of Black engineers come from HBCUs. 50% of Black lawyers come from HBCUs. And 80% of Black judges come from HBCUs. These are very necessary. So what happens if funding gets cut off from HBCUs? What do? We need more Black-led educational initiatives. We need more community-funded charter schools so that maybe more Afrocentric charter schools. Maybe Dr. Umar will finally come up with his charter school. Who knows? The biggest thing I think for us Black people is we got to teach financial literacy at home. If student loans become harder to get, which if the Department of Education cuts the funding, they will, we got to figure out how to teach our kids to build wealth early. That means they need to be investing in stock, in real estate, in entrepreneurship, and not depending on the government. Remember, Black women are the biggest benefactors of the student loans. We have the highest amount of student loan debt. So what is this going to do? What is the opportunities that we see here? What are the opportunities? Does anybody know? Let me see. We have a whole WWE wife in charge of education. Nothing good could come from. Oh my God. We need to revisit and redesign schools. Okay. Let me see. What else? What else we got? Somebody said my grandson goes to a charter school and he's 6. I was so glad to see a Black male principal. That's amazing. He said he would do this. So how can we combat this? And those are the things, Pressure Point, that we have to do. We have to look at these. This is an opportunity. We always got to look at this as an opportunity. Okay. So this is not just us saying, okay, laying down. What are we going to do? Teach. We got to support school choice, but on our terms. Okay. So 5 things we can do today. Support school choice, but on our terms. We got to invest in our own schools and our own programs. We have to fight. So we can't, gone are the days, y'all, where we depending on the government for anything. This is what they're letting us know, that we cannot depend on the government for anything. So gone are the days that we have to depend on the government. Okay. We got to fight for HBCU funding. We need to put pressure on the state governments to keep funding our HBCUs or create new funding programs for Black colleges. We have to teach financial literacy at home. You guys are learning financial literacy here. Hopefully you're investing in yourself. And that's the reason why I have the Grow Your Money Club, so that I can teach you how you can have financial literacy, because it's important that not only are you learning, but you are sharing. That's the great thing about the Net 70 Collective and the Grow Your Money Club. I always teach, yes, learn. Don't be just hearers of the word, be doers of the word, but also you have to share it. Let me tell you about the Grow Your Money Club really quick before I finish the rest of them. Have you joined the Grow Your Money Club yet? If not, why not? The Grow Your Money Club is a comprehensive program designed to take you through the complete wealth building journey. We don't just offer random courses, we guide you along a clear path, starting with fixing your credit and becoming a certified credit expert, to building your business, increasing your cash flow, diversifying your portfolio, and ultimately letting your money work for you. With over 30 trainings designed to increase your net worth, you get to either purchase the trainings individually or go through the 12-month roadmap. Here are just a few of the courses. From campus to cash flows. This is teaching your children to become real estate investors. The wealth map training shows you how to eliminate your debt, increase your credit, and diversify your revenue streams. You can learn to write your book using ChatGPT. Learn how to build your online community. What about 8 ways to make money using AI? Oh, and here's 7 online revenue streams to fund your $1 million dream. How about learning how to purchase tax deeds or land banks? What about getting started in government contracting? If you're a rookie, the Real Estate for Rookies training has everything you need. The Business Blueprint training will help you build your business foundation, get business credit, get business funding, and learn how to pay yourself so that you can scale your business to the next level. Or perhaps you want to create jaw-dropping video content using CapCut, Midjourney, and ChatGPT. There are so many trainings and master classes within the Grow Your Money Club, and I also drop 1 new training per month. You do not want to miss out on this opportunity to invest in yourself, because guess what? You are your biggest commodity. You are your biggest investment. Join the Grow Your Money Club today. So listen, the reason why I'm doing this for you all is because I want to create a space where you can learn. We have to close this wealth gap. They say in 2017 that our median wealth is going to be at 0, and they're doing everything that they can to make sure that that comes true. Really, if you don't think these white people is thinking about you, guess what? They are. And they have been planning your demise for the last 50 years, literally. They always try to figure out a way that they can destroy you. They really do. Think about, I'm always going to give you the historical perspective, but I don't want you to forget, because I want this to be ingrained in your mind. After the Civil War, after slavery ended, they started criminalizing Black people because the 13th Amendment said slavery is outlawed except for what? In the instance of prison. So they started criminalizing specifically Black men. That's why you see a disproportionate number of Black people in the prison systems, because it was designed that way. How do we still be the superpower of the world, but slavery is outlawed? We're going to go ahead and criminalize them. So they've been criminalizing Black people since the end of slavery. Okay. Then you have Black communities that are built up. You have Wilmington, you have Rosewood, you have Greenwood, you have all of these communities all over the place. Some of them they burned down. We know that. Some of them they bombed. We know that. Also, they've done eminent domain. They put freeways through these communities. They put them underwater. They've created parks. Central Park was created from a Black affluent community. Every time we've taken 2 steps forward, they've pushed us 10 steps backwards. Okay. There's been all of these things. So when we try to assimilate and we say, we're speaking the voice of the majority in power, and when we're in unison with them, their interests are not the same as ours, because their interests have always been against us. And we have to close our ears, and we have to really start acting according to our best interests, because they really don't have our best interests at heart. So when you see the rise of civil rights leaders, who killed them? Who killed all the civil rights leaders? The federal government, an entity of the federal government. We know that the CIA put drugs in our communities, and then they criminalized us. There has been a conscious effort to destroy Black people. So now they're saying that our wealth is going to be at 0 in the year 2053. That very well can happen if we keep on the trajectory. I do believe this is a new day with this new administration, not because they're doing anything for us, but because they're continuing to blatantly try to destroy us. But what that's done, Black people, is that's causing a great awakening of us. Our conversations are different. How we move is different. We are mobilized and we are making money. We are doing the things to come together to build, because we know who our real enemy is. We know they're not pretending like they're our ally anymore. They are very loud with their disdain for who we are, and we ain't even bothering them. We just want to live in peace and harmony. We want to love on our families. We want to build. We want to have something great. We want to create legacies for our children. That's all we want to do. But here they are plotting our demise, y'all. That's what they're doing. They are plotting our demise. And I'm so glad that now we see it in real time. They can no longer hide this. Okay? They can no longer throw rocks and hide their hands. We see it. We got Project 2025. It's all over the internet. All the information is out there. So we're thinking differently. We're moving differently. We're living different. Our conversations are different. We're trying to enhance our communities. I see Black people unifying like never before. This is another common goal that we can unify on. They wasn't educating our kids anyway. So what? Okay. So we got to educate our kids. They weren't teaching us. What did we learn in school about history, Black history? We learned about Martin Luther King. We learned about Rosa Parks, and we learned that we were slaves, and that's it. We don't learn real history. On my page, on my Constance Carter business page, I started doing a Black History Spotlight in February for Black History Month. So now I'm doing it like I'm going to do like once a week or twice a week, right? So this is Women's History Month. I'll be showcasing Black women. But the amount, just me in researching Black history, that they will never teach you in school. The things that I've learned that I'm sharing is crazy. And it's getting so much traction because this is the stuff that hasn't been taught in school. Make sure you follow me on everywhere I am Constance Carter. Yes, they feared the Black Messiah. J. Edgar Hoover said the biggest threat to America was Negro unity. All we trying to do is feed our families. All we trying to do is live without you brutalizing us. That's all we want to do. And you want to continue to oppress and brutalize. Somebody said on one of my posts the other day, well, it was a white guy too. Indians have darker skin than you. You know, they don't complain about discrimination. People really think that. Or why is this race doing this? I said, how dare you come on my page and you try to compare us to somebody who has not had any of the same experiences that we've had. Get your ass up off my page with this bullshit. Because they don't know, and they refuse to empathize with us. And they're never going to be able to walk in our shoes. So therefore, they have no empathy. They try to empathize as much as they can, but they really don't know what it's like to be Black. Oh, yeah. Somebody called us the darks yesterday. Remember somebody called us the darks? I don't know if he was on there. Some Confederate person happened upon the stage yesterday, the page yesterday, and he called us the darks. That was real cute. But this is why the conversation needs to be changed. So I look at this as the glass is half full, as I try to do with everything. And I try to think about, okay, what can we do to solve the problem? We got to be less dependent upon the government. We got to have more sovereignty within ourselves. We have to have more autonomy with our children. We have to do those things. Because if we leave it up to them, and we've left it up to them for the last 50 years, what's happened to our children's education? You will go into a Black school that was had no money and was tore up and was impoverished, and those kids were thriving, just like in South Africa, right? When you go to South Africa and you see those kids that are in schools on them dirt roads and in them dirt clay classrooms, those kids are learning because they had to, because their administrators cared about them. They're not criminalized. Our kids weren't criminalized. The teachers loved them. But as soon as we were sent into a burning house with integration, then we start to see this huge disparity in how our children were treated. We started seeing disparity in test scores. They were saying that we're not as smart. Our IQs aren't as high. Come on. It's all of those things, y'all. All of those things are contributing factors. So we have to take control of our narrative. We got to control our own narrative when it comes to our children, when it comes to our life. We got to stop depending on the government. That's where I'm at. Where y'all at? What y'all doing? So let me see if I got any Britt said, I went to a public school, then private, which turned to a charter school. Then we moved to a suburb. The inner school cities didn't have central air. Listen to this, nice new books and better food options. And they're talking about getting rid of the libraries, by the way, y'all. I think, let me see, who else? We all need to grow food and teach the kids about growing food when they're young. That's real. If we can pay for football and basketball camps, peace in the world, you stepping on toes now. Now you getting into the business. Some of those funds to Black education. Oh, now you stepping on. Now you talking about accountability. What you doing here? What are we doing? Okay. Let's see. Let me see what else. I live in Ohio as well. It's true as well. Over the years that they took away after school programs, even closed down schools that had too many Black students that were good at athletics. So what good was the Department of Education for our children anyway? Again, we got to stop taking on their rhetoric. These are white people problems. These ain't black people problems. Yes, we have issues tied into that, and there's black educators that are losing their jobs, and these Title I schools. I have some of the ladies inside Net 7 Collective who teach at Title I schools. This is important. My question to them last night was, well, then how do we pivot? Then how do we shift? And my directive to them last night is, we have several educators inside the Net 7 Collective. I want you guys to get together and create a small group and think about what you guys could do together as a collective of educators, of what you can do to change the narrative. Because we have to be intentional about what we're doing. We can't wait on the federal government. They don't give a damn about y'all. Newsflash, they don't. Parents have to teach their kids, do homework, make sure their kids are doing their homework when they come home, and pay for tutoring for their kids. Yep. Brother Man said, we have too many of our young men and not women that can't wait to go to prison. You think so? After civil rights law was passed, they've been working hard to dismantle. Come on, peace in the world. You see that. Welfare. What happened? Can't have no man in the house, but you're not going to give our black men no job. So now we got to choose between, do we have our black man in there with our 6 kids? He ain't got no job. I ain't got no job. We just going to be looking at each other with love, and our stomachs is touching our backs. Or do I go and ask the system for help to give me some kind of assistance, but you can't be in the house? And oh, by the way, if you do come home, you got to hide in the closet, and we are subject to possible raids by these people. And you have to, just humiliate our men to be able to accept that. You are absolutely right. After the civil rights piece in the world, they've been working hard to dismantle the black family. If you don't believe me, all you got to do is Google is your best friend. Chat GPT, bro. For real. Parents need to make sure their kids are able to read and do math. Yep. Here's the thing, too. I'm glad you said that. No matter if you go to a school that has more funding or less funding, parental involvement is the biggest differentiator when it comes to that. The government is not hiding their true intentions anymore. Education is our black messiah, the knowledge. Yes, James. I try to keep my friends and coworkers informed. Make sure that you share this with your friends and your coworkers, because they need to hear this. They need to understand. And I may rant especially about our history, but here's the thing. A lot of people have opinions based upon what they see in front of them. They don't know what's going on. They don't have a bigger worldview, a bigger picture. And so I always want to go down that road and just paint this picture for you so you really understand what it is that we're dealing with. Because you will hear people, especially with microphones, that say the most ignorant ass shit you would ever want to hear, but they have no historical context for what they're speaking on. And so if you really knew what was happening historically, then you can really kind of formulate or hypothecate or have a hypothesis or educated guess or an answer on what's really going on, an educated dialogue, So that's the reason why I always go down that road, because I really need you to understand what it is that we're dealing with and who it is that we're dealing with and why it's so important, y'all, for us to mobilize. Constance, you are enlightening us to ask ourselves who controls what gets in history books, schools, and only hear about Martin Luther King and Malcolm X in every generation. We got to do better. We have to do it. We got to figure something out, right? We got to start our own school system, something. Educate our kids at home, something, right? Brother Man said, we are waiting on the wrong people to solve our problems. Unfortunately, it is not a silver bullet answer. Everyone pick a cause and go for it. That's what we need to do also, right? But the real thing, I think, is to get active, get information, do something. Don't wait for somebody else to do it. I'm going to wait to see what they do before I do something. Nah. If you have kids, if you have grandkids, if you have nieces or nephews, there's little things, there's little needle movements that you can do to kind of make a big impact. We do need to create our own system within our homes. Yeah. Our relationship, stop thinking the other way is the right way. Yep. Good stuff. They have resources to help their students all over PWIs. And in the inner cities, I barely got help and struggle. That's so sad, but that's so true. Ain't it, Britt? We forced into self-autonomy, which is good. Boom. They're already forcing us into self-autonomy, right? They're doing that. That's why I said this is the best time to be alive. Because before we were fooled by us thinking that they had our best interest. In the meantime, we're suffering, we're dying, our men are going to prison. There's a disproportionate amount of families. Divorce rates are high in our communities. Crime rates are high in our communities. Like, all this stuff is going on. And we think that these people have our best interest when they're the ones that are putting the drugs in our community, and they're saying, stop doing drugs. And then they criminalize our people for doing drugs. Then you have a big drug epidemic in the white community, and now it's an illness. We need to open up more hospitals for them. They're not putting them in prison. And listen, now is also the best time in the world to be in the state of Maryland, because not only do we have a Black governor who's so progressive, we have a Black mayor in Baltimore, my homegirl, Aisha Braveboy, who was on the show last month. She just won. She was state's attorney. Now she's a county executive. We got Black people in position. But Governor Wes Moore, he just pardoned, I forget how many thousands of marijuana offenders. He said, now it's time that we even the playing field, that we right this wrong that's happened years ago. People doing life sentences behind some weed, and these white people, and me too, because I got a marijuana dispensary, are getting paid to do the same thing legally. It's not fair. So it's so great that we have, these progressive thinkers over here that are actually doing the work to make sure that they right the wrongs that have been done to Black people. Look, Biden called Black men super predators. He had the Biden crime bill. Lots of Black families are broken and dismantled as a result of what this man did and his policies. We got to look at both of them with a clear lens. We got to look at both of them. Okay. So you guys mad at Trump. What did Biden do? What have they been doing secretly to Black families for the last 50 years? No matter who's been in office, whether it was a Democrat or a Republican. That's why we got to take that back. We have to have control over our own communities. I'm not at all mad at the lady that, I don't know if y'all seen that viral video of the lady who talking about segregation. I'm not really that mad at it. It doesn't seem like a really bad idea if we had autonomy. But like you said, who was that? He said, what'd you say about autonomy? He said, we will be forced into self-autonomy. They are forcing us into self-autonomy. That's a bar right there, yo. We need to teach them how to work with their hands, carpentry, all of that. So that's another thing with the Department of Education being dismantled. You'll have more charter schools popping up that will show them those types of jobs, because they've taken all those jobs out. We were talking last night in the Net 7 Collective. I was saying kids don't even know how to address an envelope. They don't. There's basic things that kids don't even know how to do. There's no home economics. They don't know how to cook. They don't know how to just do basic shit. These kids ain't worth a damn. They might have some brain smarts, but they don't know how to work with their hands. Well, perhaps we can bring back charter schools that incorporated those types of things, because we need them. We need that. Okay. Don't forget our people locked up for marijuana, but they own the majority of the dispensaries. Yep. Yeah. So we have to be more proactive, ladies and gentlemen, on this. We have to be more proactive in how we interact, and the government is not going to save us. I promise you. And so the moment that you think that the government is going to save us is the moment that you've lost your mind, because they're not going to do it. They're just not. So, I wanted to show you all, what else I want to show you? Let me see. Oh, it won't let me upload it. Oh, I think I have a Ask Constance. So let's go to the Ask Constance. Where's Ask Constance, Jahari? We got it. We good? Where's Ask Constance? Ask Constance. Okay. What's my Ask Constance question? How important is it? Oh, okay. Let's put this on the banner. Let's put this here. How important is it? How important is a financial plan in a marriage, and should people do a prenup? Ooh-wee. Okay, what if you don't have a prenup and you have a postnup? Okay, how important is a financial plan in a marriage, and should people do a prenup? Financial plan is extremely important. That's the reason why you shouldn't get married before your prefrontal cortex is developed, first of all. And, young people, I discourage, my generation, I got married at like 22 or 23. And it was encouraged by my parents because my parents, they started having children and starting their family younger. What I'm encouraging my children to do is just wait until they're more established financially. The boys, wait until you're able to take care of a family before you try to even think about getting married. My daughter, make sure you got your stuff together before you even think about getting married. Having a financial plan in marriage is extremely important. Should you do a prenup? Well, that all depends on the person. That all depends on the situation, really, because you don't get married thinking that you're going to get a divorce, right? You're getting married thinking that you're going to be married for the rest of your life. So it's like, okay, this is my exit strategy in the event that it doesn't work out. I have a friend who just got married. Well, she just got married. She got married 8 years ago, and divorced. I think that maybe about 2 years ago they had a prenup, and it ended up working out for him because, she was able to leave with what she came with and he was able to leave with what he came with. And it was a win-win for everybody. They thought that they were going to be married forever, but it was something that protected the both of them and both of their interests. Unfortunately, like 6 months after they divorced, he died. So if she'd have waited, she'd have held on 6 more months. She would have got everything. That's bad. But I would say definitely before you sit down and say, I do, please know what's going on. Know this sister's credit score. Know how much money this brother makes. And you should share money, right? It's okay for him to have his own money. It's okay for her to have her own money, but you also should have a place where you have both of your money in one pot where you're sharing, the bills. So I think that financial planning is one of the most important things because I think 90% of marriages go through divorce because of financial issues. So if you don't know what you're getting into up front, then it could be actually devastating to your marriage. So you definitely need to do that. Have those conversations about it. What do y'all think? Y'all think you should? Yes, you need to know the credit score. Absolutely. Don't get married until you're 30. I'm with you, Brian Shanklin, on that. That's what I'll be telling my kids. Rochelle, okay. Bill Gates and his everything. Okay. Oh, here we go again. Brian Shanklin and your bullshit. Yeah. The reason why I said that, let me show you what this ninja said. Stop talking about his president. Yes, you need to know their credit score. Please. Peace in the world. And I think marriage is obsolete. I will tell you, when I came out of my marriage, that was the last thing in the world that I wanted to do. And even now, when people be like, oh, you want to get married? I be like, ugh, that still brings me a little bit of an anxiety. But I think if you have someone that you can kind of just I don't even know what that looks like, lay your burdens down and you can rely and depend on somebody. What a beautiful thing. What a beautiful thing. Karen said, a financial plan is very important. I don't think people need a prenup unless you have substantial wealth. That may be it. Black people need to start teaching our own children. The Board of Education doesn't benefit Black children. We need to develop more education and tutoring programs teaching our children. You know what's so funny is there are a lot of people out there who just listen to rhetoric that comes on. And I think a lot of us are guilty of doing the same thing. Just a lot of rhetoric that's out there that, they just they don't believe in facts. And so I was watching this video yesterday, this young white guy, and he's really smart. He's really intelligent. His name is Dean. But this is kind of indicative of what we see with a lot of uneducated people who are in those rural areas who probably will have control over what happens with the education of our people. Watch this.
All you do is spew facts because you think that trumps what's happened to me in my life. You think
spew facts?
All you do is spew facts. That's all you do.
I like you a little bit more now.
Yeah, facts like statistics. Shit you've read in an article.
Is he meaning? Is he meaning?
You have no idea how the actual effect it has on the American people.
Is he meaning to say
this? In office all day trying to debate people.
Is he meaning to say this, buddy?
I am meaning to say this. All you do all day is read articles and get statistics so you can debate people and smile while you debate it because you think you're better, which you're not.
I don't think I'm better than you. I just think I'm smarter than you.
You're not. Just because you read statistics all day doesn't mean you're smarter. Just because you read statistics all day doesn't mean you're smarter.
Okay.
And that's a fucking liberal thing to say.
Okay, all right.
Just because you read statistics doesn't mean you're smarter.
Education does not make you more intelligent. I couldn't disagree more.
Education doesn't make you intelligent. You learn things so you have more knowledge. That's it. But that doesn't make you smarter.
Are you sure that you want to defend that premise, that education doesn't make you more intelligent?
It doesn't, because I know a lot of people that went to college that I know more than them. Just because you went to college for 4 years and studied how to teach kids doesn't mean you know more than me.
Well, I never specified traditional or institutional education. You're talking to a college dropout. Okay. I couldn't agree more that for some people, the way in which institutions of education would present information is not conducive towards, like the highest level of intelligence or retaining of information. Okay. But I'm merely arguing education of any form can make one more intelligent.
I guess it's partially true.
Right. It is partially true that education can make one more intelligent. So when you try to critique me by saying that I educate myself all day, then I come on live to spew facts, I look at you and I think to myself, what the hell is this guy saying?
Because you're educated and you spit facts, you think, what? Huh? This is why the American education system is broken, y'all, because you have people that actually think like this. This is why we need an overhaul and a revamp of the Department of Education. So what do you guys think? I want your opinions. What do you think about the dismantling of the Department of Education? Do you think this is a real question? I'm not asking rhetorically, but do you think this is a good thing or do you think this is a bad thing? And if you think it's a bad thing, I want to know why you think it's a bad thing. And if you think it's a good thing, I want to know why you think it's a good thing. And then after that, I want you to go do your research and see what you could do to kind of change things around. So if you think it's a good thing, why is it a good thing? If you think Jimmy Crack Corn, if you think it's a bad thing, why do you think it's a bad thing? So that's what I'm interested in knowing from you. In the meantime, because y'all take forever to put in these comments. Brian Shanklin said facts. Nobody respects marriage in society, which is truly about legacy and wealth. Husband and wife working together as one union, not about getting half in a divorce, court, or so prenup and marriage paperwork. That is the thing, President 48th United States. The reason why another contributing factor to the wealth gap is black marriage rates are lower than everybody else's. The reason why the Asians have such a high net worth is because they have two people in their homes for the most part, because they have a higher marriage rate. And so that contributes to the fact that our net worth, our household income is lower than everybody else's because we're doing it with one single parent. And that's just the reality of it. And that's the unfortunate thing. Jasmine said LeBron school students failing in math opens a deeper conversation. Constance, was the LeBron James school linked to the Department of Education curriculum? That's a good question. I don't know. I'll have to Google that. Thank you for that. Liz Harris said the DOE needs, put her comment up. The DOE needs an overhaul for obvious reasons. The way they're going about it is problematic. Okay, I can dig it. I dig that too. What do you do though? It's like they've been talking about literally overhauling the Department of Education, I think since the 70s, and nobody has had any real solutions. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I know with everything that Trump's going on, what's going on with Trump, it's caused a ripple in the economy, in the stock market. You know, we have recession looming in the air. We have inflation still growing. We have tariffs. We have, possible taxes increasing. So, all of these things that are going on, I don't know if they expected all this stuff to happen. Trump said the eggs were going to be lowered on day one. We day 68 or something like that. Eggs ain't lower. So it's just a lot going on. But the biggest thing, black people, is we have to be ready for whatever. Okay, so that means educating our children, make sure we're insulated, make sure that we are spending money with each other, make sure that we're investing in ourselves. The Grow Your Money Club. Remember, the Grow Your Money Club is a way that you can invest in yourself. Go to growyourmoney.club. That's the reason why I come live here every day, to educate you in some way. But the Grow Your Money Club is something that, in addition, that's going to help undergird you and really educate you on what you need in order to go from being just an employee to having one revenue stream, to having multiple, and having your money work for you. If you really want to make your money work for you, you need to go and sign up for the Grow Your Money Club. So go to growyourmoney.club. Now I'm out of here. I wasn't supposed to be on the next podcast, but it looks like duty calls and they asked me to be on the next podcast too. So I'm gonna get out of here. Make sure you guys watch the Fly Nubian Money show. And let me tell you about the Black History Spotlight. These are always good. This was such a fascinating story to me. I want you guys to see it. I didn't know all of this stuff about Stagecoach Mary until I actually did a little bit of research. I think it was really dope. Watch this. Listen, family, when we talk about Black women breaking barriers, we got to talk about Mary Fields, aka Stagecoach Mary. She was a whiskey drinking, cigar smoking, gun toting legend who didn't ask for permission to take up space. She just did. And she did it on her own terms. Now picture this: 6 feet tall, 200 pounds, with a gun tucked under her apron and pants under her skirt. Mary wasn't about to let society tell her how a woman should act. She drank her whiskey straight, she cussed like a sailor, and smoked handmade cigars. And the best part, she was so respected in her town of Cascade, Montana, that the mayor gave her a special permission to enter any saloon she pleased, even though women weren't allowed. And let me say that again. They had rules for everybody else, but not Mary. That's the level of respect and power she carried. But let's be clear, Mary's journey didn't start in Montana. She was born in enslavement in Tennessee in the early 1830s, spent 30 years of her life as somebody else's property before she finally got her freedom. And like so many of our ancestors, she had to keep moving, keep grinding, keep pushing just to survive. She worked in Florida, then in Ohio, just trying to make a way in a world that wasn't built for her success. But Mary wasn't the type to let life push her around. At 52 years old, Mary found her true purpose when she heard that her best friend, a nun in Montana, had fallen sick with pneumonia. She dropped everything and traveled across the country to nurse her back to health. And when her friend recovered, Mary decided to stay, and Montana would never be the same. She became a vital part of the Cascade community, and y'all, they didn't just tolerate her, they celebrated her. On her birthday, every school in town shut down, y'all. People loved and respected her like family. She became the first Black woman to work as a U.S. postal carrier, fearlessly delivering mail across dangerous territory. Here's what I need y'all to take away from this. Mary Fields didn't shrink herself to fit into society's expectations. She carved out a space and forced the world to respect her. She lived boldly, she protected her people, and she never let fear or limitations define her. And that's exactly why I want every Black woman listening today to remember, don't have to fit into anybody's box. You don't have to wait for approval. You just have to show up, be fearless, and own your own power. So tell me this. What legacy are you building? Because Mary Fields left behind one that still inspires us today. Now drop a Black fist in the comments and share this story, and let's keep celebrating the Black women who paved the way. Yo, I love that story about Stagecoach Mary. I wanted to remind you before I got out of here, I'm not going to be live tomorrow. I'm going to be doing a special training, the Think, Build, Monetize training. So I'm going to show you how to take your idea. Y'all, this is so important because your idea, your business is going to be the great equalizer in this economy with everything that's going on. So take your business and monetize it. So if you want to think it, let's build it and let's monetize and let's get in action. So tomorrow, only for the people who are registered, this is going to be a closed training. But if you sign up, you will have access to it. And then if you want to watch it after the fact, you're going to have to go to the Grow Your Money Club. But in order to register, go to thinkbuildmonetize.com if you want to be a part of this training. And I can't wait to see you. Now, I just did. So this is the intro to the Bring Your Idea to Life training, which I just had one. I just did one over the weekend, which was amazing. And I had a few folks that just shared how they felt about the training, because they came with an idea, they left with the business. Watch this.
Hi, I must say that this training has been an absolute blessing to me. Constance has made me awake in ways that I never thought. She has pulled out things for me that I didn't want to be pulled out. I think she has, even though she doesn't say it's a gift, I think she has a gift whereas she can see something in us that we may not be able to see in ourselves. And she doesn't stop until she pulls it out of you. She wants the best, I believe, in her teaching. And I think she makes sure that you don't settle for less than the best. When she comes with her all, and you can genuinely feel her sincerity and her speaking to you and her teaching you. And she wants you to not just accept for mediocre. I thank her for making me see that, yes, my business vision is possible. The sky is the limit. And if my mind is made up, then what's stopping me? Nothing can stop me other than Linda. If God is with me, who can be against me? I am determined to make my business flourish and be what it should be. And it's all because Constance was willing to take the time to have this training. I can even take it again. I am so elated and excited about what she has done for me as a person. It is the best workshop I've ever been to. And I thank her for being determined to pull out of us what she knew that's in us because of what's in her and because of where she has been. So because of her journey, I am now here able to sit and speak with her and look to be a better person on my journey and to help somebody else along the way. Thank you, Constance. From the bottom of my heart, I thank you.
So every time I do a training, I take it very serious. I make sure that, I sit still and I meditate and I get what I need so that I can give what I need. Your development, your learning is extremely important to me. I don't take it haphazardly. I don't come on here just talking cold off the cuff and all that stuff. I'm very intentional about when I'm teaching people, and people can feel it. People know it. So just know that anything that you do with me, it's going to come from my experience, because I have experience. I've lost a lot of money. I've made a lot of money, but it's also going to come from a place of me really wanting the best for you. And that's what I do. That's what I put that inside. I put that love inside every single one of my trainings. And we had both men and women in this training. I didn't get a chance to do the testimonial from the men, but we have everybody. So it's not just for women. To bring your idea to life is not just for women. So this is for women and men. So if you are interested, go to thinkbuildmonetize.com so you can get registered. And instead of coming here tomorrow, I'm not going to be live, but I will be teaching this class tomorrow at the same time, same bat channel. I appreciate you guys for rocking with me as you always do. So faithful. I appreciate you. I'm going to see you on Monday, I guess, at this point. Okay. I'll talk to you soon. Wait, where's my, oh, there it is.